All righty, we got a ball game tomorrow. Landry Locker, Cody Stoots with you. Primetime Texans 0-2 on the season in primetime games. Will that change? Will they finally beat a good ball club? It is SNL. Landry Locker, Cody Stoots here with you. We're going to get into trust issues. We're going to hear from Davis Mills, whether or not you believe him, and we'll get into things that have gotten better since Davis Mills took over. But the question everybody wants to know, Cody, have you gotten there yet? It's happening, and it's going to happen in the next 27 hours, 15 minutes. Have you gotten to where you're comfortable enough now to pick the Texans?
No, I'm picking the Bills. And when you get your Houston football article in the morning, it's got the score preview and all the other stuff. It's going to have the Bills in there. I'm picking the Bills.
All right. Now, do you anticipate this being a close game? Do you anticipate this being a blowout? How are you feeling?
I feel like it's going to be a pretty close game. The Bills have a weird ability to keep games close when it gets ugly, and then the Texans are the Kings are kind of keeping this thing ugly. I don't anticipate the Texans are lighting up the scoreboard. So I'd say low-scoring affair, and Thursday night games usually tend to lean towards the ugly, low-scoring affairs.
And this is really the question that I think it's going to come down to is the Bills' run defense bad enough for the Texans to take advantage of? And that's really the Achilles heel of the Bills. They're the second worst run defense in the league. And the Texans are not good at running the football. They don't do it consistently. And quite frankly, it's possible that the best version of their offensive line is the worst version of their run blocking. So it's kind of like a backwards thing where you're talking about a team that can't stop the run. You're talking about a team that can't run the ball. You're talking about a team that perhaps the last 2 weeks has found their best combination on the offensive line, but that combination on the offensive line when it comes to running the ball might be the worst version that they have when it comes to run blocking.
Yeah, that's the problem is they can keep Davis Mills upright, but Jared Patterson's not moving a bunch of earth, and Titus Howard and Jake Andrews in the middle, not exactly road graders. And now Trent Brown's had some moments in run blocking in the couple of games that he's played, but one guy does not make an offensive line good at running the football. And so that will be interesting to see is if there is any change or adjustment. I wouldn't think so on a short week that they'd make that kind of change or anything like that to try to maximize the rushing potential of the offensive line because they've got to keep Mills upright as well. But if all of a sudden that good pass blocking offensive line turned into a good run blocking offensive line, they go a long way towards the Texans pulling off this upset.
Yeah, and it's also a matter of adjusting. So you have those two elements where the combination of the offensive line might not be best equipped to take advantage of the Bills' big disadvantage. And the other thing is, if the Texans can't run the ball, do we see the square peg round hole where they're still insistent on trying to run the ball? Because I can completely understand, more so even than like previous weeks, where if D'Amico Ryans comes into the game and he tells Nick Caley, hey, we got to be able to run the ball. We got to be able to run the ball. I understand it, but there's no guarantee that the Texans are going to be able to run the ball. And if that's the case, you're going to have to know how to adjust. You're going to have to know how to figure something out. So there's really just a lot of chess matches, checker matches. Hell, this might even be like a pin the tail on the donkey with Nick Caley in prime time. Like there's a lot of games and there's a lot of elements that come with this. The most important element of the game.
Two things that I would think lean towards, hey, at least there's a little bit of hope that the Texans can run the football. The last two games where the Bills have just been awful on the ground, they allowed Miami 197 rushing yards, and they allowed Tampa Bay 202 rushing yards. Those are the two teams right in front of the Texans in rush yards per game. So both those teams had, from a rush yards per game standpoint, the same level of production that the Texans did roughly coming into this matchup with Buffalo that the Texans do coming into this one. Now, I would tell you Tampa has a much better
line, though. Different O-line, though.
Tampa has a much better offensive line. But Miami's offensive line is awful. Like that's one of the worst offensive lines in all of football. So for them to be able to run the football a couple weeks ago, now they've got a much more talented running back. Devon Achane's much better than Woody Marks or Nick Chubb could ever hope to be. And so that's the give and take of this is like Tampa ran it, but their O-line's better. it was their third running back that got really going in that game, but so did their backup and Rachaad White. And then Miami got it going. They're running it. Their offensive line is worse than yours, but they had a better running back. So it's kind of a give and take where it's like, yeah, that's good news, but also you got to add the caveat of what those teams had coming into this game. But I will be very interested to see if it is one of those bang your head into the wall things, or if they try to pivot off of it and are able to maneuver if they can't run the football.
Two-piece combo in the chat.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Similar thoughts. Mr. Wright says if the Dolphins can beat the Bills, we, all caps, we can beat the Bills. Albert MO119 says, is everyone just deciding to ignore the fact that the Bills absolutely got destroyed by the Dolphins? I don't think it's ignored. I will say that I think Mike McDaniel is a better offensive coordinator than Nick Caley, and I think that's really what it comes down to, and that's kind of why we're starting this out talking about what we're talking about. By the way, the day after the game, join us at Spanky's this Friday. I've decided I'm going stuffed crust. I'm going stuffed crust. I'm always thin crust. I've decided with the homemade dough, homemade sauce, I'm going stuffed crust. I have not ordered stuffed crust from Spanky's. I am ordering stuffed crust. That is my decision. I have made it, and I'm going to live with it, and I'm going to consume Miller Lights. By the way, first drink on us.
Yep.
First drink on us. Happy hour. This is going to be a Football Friday Reaction Monday collab. This is going to be a fun one. Heading into the holiday week, I should say. Some people take Thanksgiving week off. It's going to be fun. Join us. We look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, don't miss it this Friday at Spanky's. We'll be there at 3, slow shows live at 4, and then we'll be hanging out with you after the fact as well.
All right, here's Nick Caley talking about what goes into deciding how to pick the offensive line. Here he is, the value. What exactly do you guys stand for is basically what Cody Stoots asked him.
Consistency in terms of execution. And again, that starts in practice. That starts, it started, we have a body of work that now, more than halfway through a regular season, but that's really what we're looking for. Consistently good, not occasionally great, just being the same guy every single day and just, continuing to move forward and get better. And, obviously there's injuries and stuff that dictate some of the rotation of some of those guys, but that's what we're looking for. And again, you got guys like you mentioned, Titus, like he's played a lot of football, and he's played outside, inside, and, all those things. We have a bunch of guys with some flex, which I'm thankful that we do. I really am.
There you go. Yeah, you got some guys with flex. That's great.
I wish you had a little less flex and you just settled on 5 guys and played them, but that's okay.
Yeah, and they may have settled. I do wonder, like, let's look at this injury report real quick, because I do think there's some things to look at on the offensive line when it comes to, things to watch. You asked, will they keep the O-line the same? Here's the injury report that we got today.
Everyone's good to go except for Jamal Hill. And then we already knew Petrie and Stroud were out for this one.
Yeah, so you have that. And I guess Trent Brown's a full participant. This guy's just, he's just
Now, it's worth noting, Wednesday is an estimation. They walk through today. So it's an estimation, just like
it's a hell of an estimation. There's a lot of fools there.
There's a lot of fools there. And maybe there's 2 fools on the screen believing that that everybody's healthy.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with that.
The question on the offensive line, and you see it there, the real practice this week, Tuesday, Ed Ingram was a full participant. So the really
You're talking about practice.
The question for me with the offensive line is, if they feel like we have to run the football better, do they feel like they have to put Ed Ingram back in there and then get Jared Patterson out of there? So Ingram at right guard.
Or Ingram. So put Titus back to left guard.
Correct.
God.
That would I would think that Titus at left guard, Ingram at right guard, and Trent Brown at right tackle, and then the usuals at center and left tackle, that may be your best run blocking offensive line. I don't know that I would advise that on a short week. Like if they had a normal week to work it, maybe you want to do that. But you probably should just keep what worked the past couple of weeks in there.
Dude.
But this is a really valid conversation with these guys because they jerk around the offensive line all the time.
Oh my God. All right.
I'm not creating some conspiracy theory that doesn't exist. Like They randomly started City So 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So walk me through it. What would you do with the offensive line?
All right. I don't even want to talk about what I would do with the offensive line. Like we can get to there, but just I want to walk back to the last time the Texans played in prime time.
Okay.
And the last time they played in prime time was Monday night against the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
They were coming off of a 2-game winning streak. That 2-game winning streak consisted of one offensive line.
Primarily Juice Scruggs at left guard and everything else stayed the same.
And then these assholes decided that they were going to start Laken Tomlinson and Juice Scruggs, and it was a disaster. And they decided that they liked Laken Tomlinson so much in prime time against one of the best defenses in the league, despite not liking him against 2 shitty teams. They decided to run behind him not once, but twice near midfield in the third quarter of a 1-possession game. I don't want these guys to think about anything except just trying to keep the offensive line in the same. So, like, I know what you're saying. I'm not saying that your feelings are not valid. I'm just saying we've seen this before where the more that these guys think as things are going okay, the more that things screw up, especially on the big stage. So, yes, I get it. It might not be your best run blocking combination. You know what? It's not the best run defense you're going against either. So maybe you can kind of cancel that out. I just have concern because we've been in this before. Primetime game, 2-game winning streak, offensive line that has worked, still not great, but has worked, and you decide to change it. So these guys do not need to think. Do not think. Just do what's been going on, and whenever there's an appropriate time where you want to shuffle, you can shuffle, but you have a 2-game win streak. Keep it going the way it is. And I know that Titus was out the previous week, but you know what I mean. Like they kept it the similar way, and Titus would have been it.
They didn't bench Patterson after 1 week, and they didn't just throw Titus right back out there and figure out right guard instead.
Yeah.
They let Trent Brown stick around, and they let Patterson stick around.
Yes. So just don't think. Just do what y'all have known to do. Let's go on the chat. Shout out to everyone. Hope to see you people, and I do mean you people in the chat at Spanky's 2 sleeps from now.
I got bad news for you. I think they're going to think.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Von Clutch says, why doesn't Jalen Reed get a chance in the Petrie spot? He hadn't been in the Petrie spot since rookie mini camp. So yeah. I don't know. I thought that was kind of his skill set, but he hasn't been there. Quite frankly, I think there's only one player on this roster that's capable of playing in the Petrie spot, and that's Jimmy Ward. And Jimmy Ward has a hurt foot right now. Outside of that, it's a luxury. It takes a unique skill set. Jimmy Ward's played it at an elite level, top 100 in the league. His last year of doing it full time for the 49ers a while ago. But I don't know. I don't know that they look at the Petrie spot as like something as a plug and play type of situation. So that would be my answer to that. Plus, they need a safety at this point. Like they don't have any safety depth. So they need him there.
I am interested. Like, they just didn't like anybody enough to keep someone around from a practice squad standpoint to maybe be a backup Petrie. I guess they felt like Miles Bryant could do it in a pinch, or maybe they were just comfortable playing that extra linebacker because you needed some sort of plan for no Jalen Petrie. And it seems like their plan was just, sometimes Miles Bryant and the extra linebacker versus having an actual guy to replace Jalen Petrie. And, hey, it's been okay, but that's really going to get put to the test here against Buffalo. You'd think they would be seeking out Miles Bryant when he's in that spot.
Ricardo L says 1 chip challenge for Landry for not finishing that bet. Now, Whataburger let me down. If they would have given the normal count on fries, I would have been good. 1 chip challenge. We'll see. By the way, I don't know if you saw this yesterday, but I made a try bet that you get to pick on Friday at Spanky's. If Mills-Caley calls a B or higher game on primetime, you can pick 3 reasonable ingredients for me Friday at Spanky's. He has to call a B. We have to agree that it was a B or higher game plan. That doesn't mean they have to win, but a B or higher game plan.
Okay.
Because I don't think Mills-Caley handles primetime very well. I think it's too big of a moment for him.
It's shriveled up pretty tight on primetime a couple times already for him.
Yes. And he definitely ate Italian food before because I saw some mom spaghetti on his shirt. Risque Barber says Davis Mills over under 211.5 passing yards. I would take the over. 211 over.
Did you know? A little did you know? Remember that when you throw that in the back end of Sports Center?
Yeah.
Well, did you know?
Yes.
Did you know the Buffalo Bills have a better pass defense in yards allowed this year than the Houston Texans?
Well, probably because teams are running the fucking ball on them all game. Like, you can't do everything.
Yeah, the Bills allow 169.7 yards per game through the air. The Texans allow 171.
And they average over a 150 rushing. So yeah, you can't do it all.
Yeah, and the Texans only allow like 80 something yards on the ground. The Bills allow 153 yards rushing.
Yeah, yeah, not great. Gibby says, how many turnovers do we force for a victory? 2.
I would think you probably need 2, and they probably need to be pretty timely. 1 on the Bills side of the field so that you get an easy score, be it 3 or 7, and then maybe 1 to take a score off the board for Buffalo as well.
Yeah, probably you need at least 2, I would say.
Yeah.
Nathan Palmer 515 says, I can see Davis starting for another team next year if we win tomorrow. Why would you get rid of your great insurance policy? I don't get this. Like, what? No one's giving you the farm for Davis Mills. I just don't. You signed him to an extension. It's a great deal for a backup quarterback, especially when your starting quarterback has had 2 concussions and missed, I don't know, a handful of games. I don't get that. Your season completely. Ask the Bengals if they wish they would have had a good backup quarterback.
Sure.
And they've lost seasons because of it. So I don't understand this like trade Davis Mills thing. No offense, Nathan. I appreciate it. I don't get it.
You also might need him for a QB competition.
All right. Bryce says, hopefully Mills wears his Manta sleep mask tonight, which, by the way, is fantastic. I will say.
It takes naps to a whole new level, man.
It's pretty wild. HCAV Traveler says, afternoon, Landry, Cody, and friends. Hopefully McLean can figure out technology and make it to Spanky's on Friday. He really wants McLean there, doesn't he?
I think he wants to hang out with John more than us.
You want to ask the McLeaner, is he too upset right now or what?
I think you have a better relationship with him.
I'll ask him right now.
Good to see you, HDAV Traveler, by the way. Be good to see you Friday as well.
How you doing, John? We
would love
Spanky's Friday. If you'd like to come. COME. Pause. Christopher K says, I wonder if Shaq Mason is available for this game.
They got I guess the Shaq Mason-esque player now is Laken Tomlinson, but at least they haven't just left him in there.
Yeah, but Laken Tomlinson's a professional. I think Shaq Mason was unprofessional last year. He was fat, sloppy, always looked like he was tired. Laken Tomlinson's at least a professional.
Always looked like he was tired.
He didn't?
Probably, well, you party hard enough, you always are tired.
I know the look, brother. Hey, I know the look, brother. I know the look, my friend. So let's hear from D'Amico Ryans about what he thinks of Davis Mills, how he thinks Davis Mills has handled his role. Here's what D'Amico Ryans had to say about Money Mills.
Davis is just doing his job. I know it gets heightened with the quarterback position, but it's no different than any other position, right? You got to go out, you got to execute the fundamentals, the details of your job the right way, and that's what he's done. That's all we're asking him to do.
Would you agree that there are weeks from this season where C.J. Stroud did not execute at the quarterback spot?
Of course. Of course. They're one of the worst offenses in the league. I would definitely agree with that for sure. I mean, that's completely fair.
I wonder if the floor is higher with Mills, but the ceiling is higher with CJ when they think about this offense.
I thought this was interesting because I actually had the conversation today about this. And it came courtesy of like a weird tweet from our boy Will Kunkel. So Kunkel tweeted out yesterday, and this was complete farming at its craziest. I don't know. It says, "My sweet love at Jeremy Branham believes Davis Mills is better fit for the Texans offense than CJ Stroud. If that's so, do you think the Texans should bench Stroud? Furthermore, do you think the Texans should move on from Stroud ASAP?" Now, Branham did not. I don't think Branham said this, because I've seen Branham has kind of made it clear that CJ Stroud is better than Davis Mills and the ceiling is higher. I think we all agree with that. But I think this system, which we were criticizing with CJ Stroud, like I asked Mills-Caley and Caserio, I said, why is this New England system right for CJ Stroud? And we were having those discussions like, is this system equipped to maximize CJ Stroud's skills? And the answer is, some people said no. Some people said, I don't know. There weren't too many yeses, that from what I can gather. Like there weren't too many yeses. So we were questioning the system. On the flip side, Davis Mills, while the ceiling is lower, I do think that this system might maximize what Davis Mills can do. And that's all Jeremy Branham, I think, was saying when he was just completely thrown to the hyenas by Kunkel. My God. But I think that's kind of the discussion and the question that you're asking.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally believe that there are elements of this thing that work better for Davis and that allow him to keep from making mistakes. And then there are things where CJ can do just a little bit more, and because he can, sometimes the negative of that play result is makes the floor a little bit lower for this offense.
Yeah.
But if he's hitting, if he's having a good day, boom, he's doing stuff that Davis can't do on a consistent basis.
Correct. And I do wonder, and this is kind of a good transition here. You brought this up yesterday. I do wonder, and we've asked this question, why are Nico and Higgins thriving with Mills? I think that this is something that CJ can watch and actually learn from. And I don't think I don't think that the skills and the traits that Davis Mills may or may not have that make him a better equipped for this system is something that you can watch and get better from. But I do think this is something that can help CJ Stroud. We've seen Nico Collins and CJ Stroud ball the fuck out for 2 years. Like, even when the offense was bad, like, we've seen that. So it's not like all of a sudden this year. Yes. Like, this year, Nico Collins was not producing, but we have seen Nico Collins and CJ Stroud have chemistry. The Higgins thing too is maybe CJ Stroud starts to trust him a little bit more. I find it interesting with D'Amico Ryans, how he spoke of Jaden Higgins. And it was almost Nico like when you asked him what he thinks about how Higgins is playing.
Jaden's been playing well. It's just a matter of if we get the football to him and everybody can see it. But when we target him, it's high percentage chance he's coming down with the football and making plays for us.
There you go. So the answer is I just think they're getting more opportunity with Mills than they were with Stroud. I think it's very simple to answer the question that I asked previously.
Well, and I think there's something that I've been critical of CJ since it felt like parts of 24, and then he's certainly here into 25. If you see it, rip it. Like, I think there's some times where he's working too hard to get to 2 and 3 in the reads, and maybe just doesn't. I think Davis just gets rid of the thing. Like, I don't think he wants to worry about pass rush. I think if he sees it, he's throwing it, and it's either an incomplete where only his guy could miss or make the play, or his guy's catching it. I think that's one of the things that I really liked about what Davis has done is there's not a lot of hold on to it, pat it, let's see where the ball is going to go. And he's like, look, there's Jaden. Boop, first down. Oh, look, there's Nico over the middle. Boom. See it, rip it. That's one of the things that I think that's probably the best way to operate this offense is when you see it, throw the damn thing. And I don't know that CJ's been doing that as much. And there's an element of CJ can make a little bit more happen if he does hold on to it sometimes.
Yeah, I also think CJ's feel like there's a lot of pressure on CJ coming into the season. It's a new system, and maybe there's a little bit of overthinking. And I think that's something else that he can kind of watch from Davis Mills. There's no pressure on Davis Mills. Like, Davis Mills is a backup quarterback. He knows it. Most people know it. So he goes out there, he plays. The offense is equipped to his skill set. He goes out there and does his thing, and he does a lot of things that maybe CJ Stroud could do. So I think CJ Stroud can watch it and learn from it. And the other thing that I think that happened with Higgins, and this is just us watching every play, the first game of the season against the Rams, and I said at the time, I didn't really put that interception on CJ Stroud because really he just trusted Jaden Higgins to go up, and worst case scenario, it's an incomplete pass. He didn't do it. And I do wonder if like getting off on the wrong foot in that situation kind of pushed back maybe the trust issues, because most of the throws we saw to Higgins after that, it seemed like CJ was kind of aiming them a little bit. Like a lot of times it seemed like they weren't on the same page, because he did give him a 50-50 ball and Jaden Higgins didn't come down with it. And even Jaden Higgins after the game, and we said, hey, that's not really CJ's fault. Jaden Higgins said, yeah, I got to go up and make the play. And I just wonder if getting off to that type of start kind of maybe caused CJ Stroud to perhaps question if Jaden Higgins could go up and get those 50-50 balls and maybe try to aim the ball a little bit more. So I do think there's an element of that, but you sit back and you watch him do what he's doing. You gotta find like some sort of excitement or curiosity in being able to work with him and get that chemistry rolling.
Certainly. It's also worth noting, it looks like CJ, for whatever reason, and I think a little bit of it is some of the off-schedule extension of the play nature. He has a better chemistry with Jalen Noel than he does with Jaden Higgins right now.
Yep.
Him and Noel have hit a couple of really big plays, certainly in Seattle and then San Fran right after that. Like they've hit a couple of really big plays. So for whatever reason, he's been able to click with Noel a little bit more than Higgins. Hopefully when he's back, he's clicking with both of them.
Yep. No doubt. Mustard Paper 812 says, I'll be at Spanky's Friday from Austin. Shout out to you, my friend. We look forward to seeing you, and we look forward to seeing everyone else. It's gonna be a fun one.
Excited to meet you.
It's gonna be a very, very, very fun one. Let's hear more on these weapons. Specifically Jaden Higgins, who Davis Mills says is a stud. Let's hear Davis Mills talking about the stud.
He's a stud. He's shown up a lot and kind of big-time moments when you need a big-time play. He consistently finds a way to beat the guy who's covering him. And when you have one guy like Nico on one side and a guy who basically is super similar to Nico, with some kind of different things at the line he's able to do and some different looks he's able to find in the defense, it's an awesome target to have on the other side of the ball or even on the same side when they can complement each other.
Yeah, he's a stud. He's a stud. He uses the word stud.
He's a stud.
He also thinks Nico Collins is a stud.
Yeah, that he did. He said it's easy to get Nico the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Nico's a great player. Anytime you can get him the ball, it makes it hard on opposing teams, their defenses especially. When you're getting a guy like that the ball and it's really affecting the game, they have to find a way to stop it, and it ends up opening up other people on the field. So, I mean, I'm not saying we're really like forcing them the ball, but there's plays when we're trying to get one of our best playmakers, if not our best playmaker on offense, the ball out in space. He's going to make a big-time play with it, and defenses have to account for that. So it helps the team out a lot.
Again, one of those elements that I hope carries over when CJ Stroud is back is just the amount of looks that Nico Collins has and the opportunities that Nico Collins has, because as Mills notes, even when the ball's not getting to Nico, if they're worrying more about him, it'll be a lot easier for everybody else to take care of their business.
Yeah, I agree. I like the way it's starting. I think this is something that CJ can definitely build on. There's no doubt about that. Speaking of building on, how about building on your Texans collection and partnering with one of the best local entities in the world, TDECU. TDECU, you can get 15% off the Texans team shop when you get that fresh new Texans debit card with the new logo. Cody has it, and Cody knows how to. And Cody knows that's not all they do. They got a lot more to offer than just that.
Yeah, how about build up your checking account with the various checking account options that they have at TDECU? They're a credit union, so they have different advantages that typical places where you put your money don't have. No membership's required, and it's very easy to become a member at TDECU, and they're insured by the NCUA. But your money works better at TDECU than it does other places. When you put your money with TDECU, you're going to get that gorgeous Texans debit card if you want it. If you're a Coug fan, they got a Cougs debit card for you as well. You're going to get 15% off the online team store with that Texans debit card. And you can learn about all the advantages and perks of that Texans debit card, tdcu.org/Texans. And you can get the process started right there on the website. You just need to be a resident in the state of Texas to be a member at TDECU and have your money working for you. Tons of different options from a checking, savings, even your business accounts could be over there. You want to start saving for the kids' college fund. You want to start buying a house, all those things. TDECU can help you with that.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Rafael asks, does Davis Mills have a quicker release than CJ? Has the O-line play been better lately? A quicker release is the Patriot way. CJ will be better coming back. I don't think you can just completely separate offensive line play from quarterback, especially in the system. So if it has been, then I think that can be a tip of the cap to Mills. I don't think it's as simple as they want to block better. I think there's a lot of communication on the quarterback's plate as far as seeing things. It feels like Davis Mills is seeing that. So if the O-line play has been better lately, you can equate that to maybe the lineup change with Trent Brown at right tackle, but I don't think you completely separate the quarterback from the offensive line.
Well, I think I think the decision making is probably like Davis Mills' willingness to just go with what he saw and what he sees it seems higher than CJ Stroud, where Stroud maybe scans a little bit more and tries to do a little bit more within the play. Davis is pretty content to just get rid of it and live to fight another day, which is something that we've talked about wanting to see a little bit more of out of CJ, which is again, when the offense has looked pretty good, it's been CJ, boom, get rid of it. Boom, get rid of it. See it, get rid of it. And with a mix in of some of the special things that he could do.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he has a quicker release. I think maybe he's throwing the ball
better, just quicker decision making. Maybe.
Yeah, I think the decision making has been loose. I mean, and maybe that's CJ kind of being in his own head. Here's Davis Mills talking about
the main goal of each week, and what it has been is just going out there and playing efficient football, executing at a really high level, and trying to find a way to win the game. And we've been successful at that the past 2 weeks, and we're trying to keep it rolling in this third week.
All right. Yeah, we're going to try to keep it rolling.
He does make it sound really simple. He just, well, we did what we're supposed to.
I'm interested. Nah, not really. I wish there were like more NFL guys like Herb Street and Al Michaels. I don't think they're really going to have like a big dive into what Davis Mills is about. So I kind of would have liked to have seen maybe like Chris Collinsworth talking about him or something like.
Yeah. How many people are going to have to wake Al Michaels up for this game?
Troy Aikman, Chris Collinsworth. Like I would have liked to seen like one of the A teams call this. Do you like Herb Street on broadcast NFL?
No.
It's not. It doesn't make sense. Like it was a lazy decision.
It felt very forced.
Yeah, it doesn't seem necessary. It's not awful. Like it's not like god awful. Like it just doesn't. It's a lot, dude.
I'll say this: he's not the worst part of the broadcast team.
Why are you disrespecting the GOAT like that?
Because he falls asleep. Sleepy Al.
He's actually gotten better the last year.
The other night, man, I can't remember what the play was, but I was like, let's go, man, here, like, let's go. Like, it was a great play. And Al Michaels was like, all right. And there's the turnover. So thanks, Al. Appreciate the resume, but the current performance, not there. It's like watching one of these old wrestlers go do a death match in a gymnasium in front of 100 people.
Jake the Snake. Although I don't know that I'll live like that. How many points are realistic to expect from the Mills-led offense?
I mean, can they get to 21-24 against this Bills team?
Maybe. I mean,
I feel decent about like 17. Like if you told me they're going to get 17 points, the defense has to keep the Bills below 17. All right, not going to be easy, but it's possible.
The over under is what? It's 20. It's basically 18. Like they have it at around 18.5 for the Texans when it comes to point total. So it's around the 18.5, 19 range is what they've set it at. I think you could score. I think you could score 21. I think you could. I mean,
Can you win with 21?
No.
Mm.
No. I don't think so. I mean, it just depends what it looks like. Like, are you keeping the defense off the field? Are you running the ball? Kind of goes back to the way we started this.
Like if the defense had like a generational performance, you could win with 21.
Well, obviously, I think you need 24 to win.
Okay.
I think you need like 24 to win, and then they got to really put the bend-don't break to test against Buffalo, which I actually think against Buffalo you can perhaps do that.
Just got to, man. With this Buffalo crew, to me, they get in the red zone. It's almost a foregone conclusion they're going to get in the end zone.
Here is the one thing though that I think is interesting because people keep bringing up the Miami game. I think there could be a situation where this might be like a little bit, but like you can catch teams slipping, like superior teams slipping, and I could see the Bills kind of taking the Dolphins for granted on top of their flaws kind of being exposed, but Josh Allen's really had some really bad runs in Houston. I watched his media availability and like he's being asked about the playoff game in 2019 all the way to last year. So I don't think like if you're thinking, well, Buffalo is going to take the Texans lightly. I don't think that's at all going to be the case based on, I think it's the only 2 times Josh Allen's played there. Is that correct? Yeah, based on the 2 times that Josh Allen has played there, I don't think he's going to take this lightly, especially the most recent one where he was terrible. He did say that he was banged up, and that was common knowledge. So maybe there's going to be a little bit more willingness to use his legs, which I think is another element of this game that deserves attention. Is the Texans have kind of shown some signs of quarterbacks being able to run on them. Josh Allen's one of the best at doing that.
He was missing Shakir in that game last year, and that's a guy that they lean on a lot with the way that they operate from an offense. So that's where last year he'll seemingly have Shakir tomorrow, although he didn't practice all week for a personal reason, but he didn't have a game designation. The thing too about, like, when we say Allen running, like it's not like it's Michael Vick and it's going to be like 120, 140 extra yards of offense from him. It's just the backbreakers where it's like, oh, it's 3rd and 8, everybody's covered, and the next thing you know, Josh Allen runs for 9 yards and they got a fresh set of downs. Like those are the ones that hurt the most, and you could see Allen do it time after time and time again in this game just to keep them alive and give them the opportunity. Like that, he's just like it's the worst time ever. And now Josh Allen takes off and he gets the first down, or he takes off in the red zone and it's a touchdown. Like it's not like it's like going to be like some like massive yardage total at the end of the night, but when he takes off, typically it's a back-breaking moment for your defense.
Yes, it's one of the biggest backbreakers that there is for sure.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Arnold says Josh Allen's and the Bills' weird struggles continue. 24-17 Texans book it. Booked.
We'll remember that if it ends up 24-17.
Raphael says, hypothetically, if Mills balls out tomorrow, QB controversy. I promise I'm not on that.
High-grade marijuana called Kush on the streets.
But the first half of the season was not good.
It's hard to say there'd be a controversy without knowing how Stroud's going to play. Because if Stroud came back and played well, then there's no controversy. If Stroud came back and played poorly, people are going to want Davis Mills.
He's talking about leading up to it. Well, actually, guy.
Like leading up to Indianapolis?
He's talking about right after, like up to Indianapolis will be where the controversy is. That's what he's saying.
No,
it will be a thing. Like if Davis Mills goes out there and balls out tomorrow, it will be a talking point, and there will have to be conversations had. It's not asinine. And I don't think either one of us is going to say Davis Mills should be the starter under any circumstance. Like none of us are going to shape our lips to say that, but it is a conversation worth having if a guy gives you your first primetime win of the season when you're 0-2 on primetime, your first win against a really good team, which Buffalo is still a really good team, flawed or not, and he wins 3 games in a row, and he gives you your winning record for the first time of the season, it's at least a conversation worth having.
Sure. I'm happy to have that conversation if it happens, but there's quite literally nothing Davis Mills could do tomorrow that would have me starting him against the Colts if CJ Stroud is healthy.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's hear from his bro, though. This is a bromance. This is the number one bromance in town. And we've seen it. We've seen a lot of bromances, but this one is as strong as it gets. Nick Caley and Davis Mills. Man, these guys, man, who's bringing what for Thanksgiving next week? Let's hear Nick Caley talking about what he likes about Davis Mills after a couple starts.
I think he's been really, really consistent. I mean, he has been the same guy again since I got here. But just poised, works hard. He's studying around the clock. Good dialogue back and forth. I mean, he's really into it. Has great command, ownership, all those things. So I've been really pleased with him.
Okay.
What about the comfort level? I had to ask him about the comfort level, and I already know. If Nick Caley, let me tell you this. If either one of these guys, they're married, if they get divorced, the other one's going to be the best man in the second wedding. That's how close Davis Mills and Nick Caley are. It's a real bromance. I asked Nick Caley about his comfort level with Davis Mills. Here's what he had to say about his BFF.
Yeah, comfort level like with Davis now, heading into the third game, as compared to heading into the first.
I just think, I mean, look, I have a lot of confidence in him, from the start. I would say the one thing that you get to do is as we get more time on task with each other, you just get an opportunity to have more dialogue and we can, obviously modify some things that we have and we've got our system. And then, each player is a little bit different relative to some things, whether it's a concept that they might have higher on a priority board than others that's within our system, but just getting more dialogue really. And being able, the biggest thing is being able to see the game through the same set of eyes. So while I'm calling it, while he's out there, we understand what we're trying to get done, and we can speak on those things and make adjustments and stuff like that. And he's really into that, so been really pleased with that.
All right, there you go.
He's really into that.
He's into it, man. Loves it. Loves him some Davis Mills. That's his boy, man. Nick Caley, Davis Mills, BFFs, dude. Nick. You notice that thing right there that Caley was wearing? I know he's gotten the new hat. Did you see the new bracelet? Friendship bracelets.
No, he's always had that.
They have friendship bracelets. He has not been wearing that since the last 2 weeks. Davis Mills and Nick Caley have friendship bracelets. How about that?
No, they don't.
Okay. Look a little closer next time. There's some friendship bracelet stuff going on there. Now, this is a real question, and I'm going to ask the people, and I do mean you people. Do you believe Davis Mills here? Because first of all, the answer to the first part is hell no. This is not just another game, Davis. Like, you can be a hardo and act like it's not, but this is the biggest game of Davis Mills' career. You've never played a relevant primetime game. You've never played a game like this. You're playing a really good team. You're playing an MVP quarterback, and it's the biggest stage that you will have, and you're coming off of playing the best football of your career, 2 straight wins. So that's a lie. Like, saying this is just another game is just a lie. But look how he finishes this when I ask him the question. And I had to think about this, because he looked me in the eyes and he said, "We'll be ready to go." I want y'all to act like he's looking at you and tell me, do you believe Davis Mills and the confidence that he says that the Texans will be ready to go?
I know you're a pretty even-keeled guy, but do you feel like primetime Buffalo, do you feel like this is a game that gets you a little bit more excited, one of the bigger games of your career?
I mean, it's just another game. Obviously, every game's extremely important, and it's going to be fun seeing NRG rocking on Thursday when the time comes. But, I mean, you prepare the same each week. I know this week being a short week, it's a little different schedule-wise, but we're still getting all the prep, all the game planning, and we're going to be ready to go on Thursday night.
What does ready to go with this crew mean, though? Get in the red zone and force Kaimi out there?
You think he's ready to go? Do you believe him? Do you think they're ready to go? That was pretty confident of him. Like, Davis getting a little bit of confidence. Do you believe him?
Davis Mills sounds the same on whatever topic. He could be talking about what his favorite food is.
That was a direct statement, Cody. That was, we will be ready to go. That was not a, even keel type of thing. That was a direct statement. I did not ask if they would be ready to go. I asked if this was a big game, and he said, we'll be ready to go. That's a little bit different than what we get with Davis Mills. That's kind of sticking the chest out a little bit.
Yeah, but he said it with the same inflection as if he was talking about how his day went to his wife or geopolitics in Eastern Europe. Like, it's the same level of inflection. There's no change.
Patrick is the meanest guy in the world, man. He says it's wild that Davis Mills doesn't let himself get too high considering that draft knack.
That's why he keeps himself so grounded. He'd be in the clouds if he didn't.
Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Let's hear from Nick Caley one more time. How does Jalen Noel get more time? This feels to be one of the things that people want to see. Here is Nick Caley talking about that.
He's done a good job. I think it's just, again, we have a bunch of receivers. We have a deep receiver room. We try to mix the groupings in there. Sometimes, again, the flow dictates otherwise, but I have a lot of faith in Jalen Noel, and he'll play a lot of football for us. And, there's nothing he's done that would prevent me from having faith in him. Got all the faith in him.
I have lots of faith in him too. So put him on the field.
It's really weird because the way the Jalen Noel thing. First of all, I think he's in the next 2 games. I think he has a return touchdown.
Ooh.
He's giving you so many clues. Like, on the one hand, you talk about the Texans defense and you say there's clues that there's a little bit more vulnerability than the stats are showing, based on some of the quarterbacks that they play that have been unable to take advantage of certain things. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, I do think, and I also do think that there is an element that the Texans edge guys are so good that maybe it gets in the quarterback's head to where he can't make some of the throws, which I think we kind of got to acknowledge. But I think we've seen, like, it's even when it's not there, like, it just seems really close with Jalen Noel. So I think a big special teams play from Jalen Noel, I think it's inevitably going to happen sooner rather than later.
Sure would be nice to have one of those on, I don't know, Thursday Night Football in a short week against a pretty tough team. Nice if you had one there. So we talked about, hey, how much do you trust the Davis Mills offense to score? Well, the Jalen Noel special teams doesn't count towards the Davis Mills offense. So if you got 17 from Davis Mills, you got 7 from special teams. There's your 24.
Yes.
There's your 24.
Yes.
Bills have a pretty decent – we didn't talk to Frank Ross this week, although he says every week everybody's good. But the Bills have a pretty decent special teams.
Yeah. I'm hoping the days of I'm hoping we've seen the worst of Frank Ross special teams. That would be – well, that would be if it gets worse than that, then you're not winning the game.
Well, if it gets worse than that, it's going to be a huge issue.
But I do like going back to the Jalen Noel thing, because I kind of backtracked and took away from what we were talking about, the receiving thing. It's funny because when D'Amico talked about it and when Caley talked about it, they're almost they talk about it as if we have all these weapons and sometimes it's hard for your opportunity. No, we're talking about one guy. Like, the elephant in the room is it's one guy that people don't get as far as why this guy is getting more opportunity than Jalen Noel. It's one guy.
Captain Kirk has arrived. I repeat, Captain Kirk has arrived.
That's the frustration. It's not, have Jalen Noel take away from Nico Collins or Jaden Higgins or even like Xavier Hutchinson with what he's doing. Like, that's not the problem. The problem is people are looking at a guy that plays the same position and they're watching him struggle to make plays. The biggest contribution he's had is drawing a PI. Like, that's the frustration. It's not like, and I don't like, obviously people aren't going to go up there and say, hey, Christian Kirk sucks. Why aren't you getting it to Jalen Noel? But that's pretty much why people are asking about Jalen Knoll. It's not it's not anything more, it's not anything less. It's that Christian Kirk is a thing. That's the problem that people have with Jalen Knoll, is that you have the love child of Texans Randall Cobb and Texans Amon Green getting more reps than Jalen Knoll, and it doesn't seem like he's nearly as capable of making plays. That's the issue.
The artist formerly known as Christian Kirk.
The ghost of Christian Kirk. That's the issue.
Yep.
So that's what the problem is.
Yep.
That's it. It's not about anybody else. It's that's the issue.
There ain't no linebacker running step for step with Jalen Knoll.
No. And maybe Christian Kirk, like, there's got to be some point where he validates their trust in him, right? Like, is it going to happen? Okay, well then, what are we doing?
I guess he knows where to go on every route, and he blocks hard.
Better. Yeah, the blocking is the thing. It feels like.
But they really don't use him to block that much. They just take him out and put Xavier Hutchinson in.
But I mean, don't you feel like even like it happened early, so we really didn't think anything of it? I would say that most of the receivers on this team make that play that he didn't make on the first drive of the last game. Like, he catch the ball. Like, we saw Nico Collins.
Yeah.
We saw Nico Collins and we saw Higgins make tougher catches than that. We've seen Jalen Knoll make tougher catches than that. We saw Xavier Hutchinson make tougher catches than that. Like, catch the ball. Catch the ball, and the game's completely different.
Yeah. Yeah, you score on that opening drive, and maybe the floodgates open.
Yeah, that's the problem that it is. It's not about anything else other than the fact that Christian Kirk is still a thing.
The artist formerly known as Christian Kirk.
The ghost of Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
That's what I call him. The ghost.
This is
Christian Kirk.
Christian Bobby Trees Kirk.
Ooh.
Damn.
I think Robert Woods was better.
I don't think so. Robert, it looked laborious for Robert Woods to go out there and do what he did. Hold on, now I gotta look at Robert Woods' game log just to make sure.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
All right, let's see here. Robert Woods last year, 30 targets, 20 catches, 203 yards.
Not great.
No touchdowns.
Not great.
His best game was.
But what about the year before? Like, the year before, he made some plays.
2023?
Yeah, 2023. Be fair. Like, last year, he was clearly washed and cooked.
75 targets, 40 catches, 426 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, and it was more of a contribution than Kirk.
Yeah, but he was clearly the fourth wide receiver in 2023.
Exactly, which is what Christian Kirk should be.
Right, with Nico and Jaden and Jalen ahead of him.
Yes, that's what Kirk should be. That's the problem. It's frustrating. It's frustrating watching Christian Kirk out there. And the thing is, he looked good in camp. It's almost like these two soft tissue injuries just like said, bye-bye. Like, he looked good in camp. Like, in camp, he was fine. But I mean, when you're older, you get one soft tissue injury, then you're done. Like, you ever see someone who's like 50, 60, and like they're running every day, and but then all of a sudden, just like they roll their ankle, they're done.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just one thing.
It's unfortunate.
Yep.
He certainly has not been the wide receiver equivalent of Joe Mixon.
No, which is, and they took the same approach to get him. So
yeah,
that's the problem. Christian Kirk does not have too many fans in Houston. I don't know that there are any. I don't know if there are any at this point.
Probably not.
Yeah, Christian Kirk. Very, very tough. So you asked this, behind Nico Collins, who is the key to the offense this week?
It's got to be
putting Davis Mills, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, this is the people that don't throw the football. It's got to be Woody Marks, right? They can't run the ball, or they can't stop the run. Guys have had big games against the Bills. Like, if Woody Marks is ripping off big runs, everything should work for this offense. They should be able to move the football consistently.
Yeah, it's got to be the run game. Now, I do have, and I got to confess, I have lingering and neglect animosity, and I think it's highlighted in this because I would love to have. That's a lot of words, but I would like to have 3 running backs that I trust in this situation where like they all do different things. And the thing that
Buffalo has,
like every team in the NFL has, they damn sure don't have. And if they don't have it, they damn sure don't have 2 guys that have lingered around in the running back room for 4 years. Dare Ogunbowale and Dameon Pierce. Like that's really like it's like proactively trying to improve your running back room can be done every year. And the Texans have had Dameon Pierce and Dare Ogunbowale in their running back room for 4 years. So like it just sucks that you have a situation where it's just Nick Chubb and it's just Woody Marks. But I agree with you to go back to this and not get on my typical running back high horse. I agree with you that Woody Marks has got to be the guy. I don't know what we get from Nick Chubb in this situation, but Woody Marks has got to be the guy. By the way, I think Nick Chubb's spending probably like 8 hours a day in the ice bath at this point. You notice that? Like as
he's never in the locker room,
dude. He's got it. This has got to be like such a physically taxing season for Nick Chubb.
He had 4 carries last week.
Yeah, he's hanging by a thread. Like you're one play away from like having to use Dare Ogunbowale and Dameon Pierce like in games. Like guys that you clearly don't trust to do this, and they lingered around. And this is a position where day 3, if you just committed on day 3, all right, we're gonna find running backs that can contribute. More times than not, you can figure something out. Like in free agency, all that.
Like I don't know, using a 7th round pick like the Buffalo Bills did on Kyle Monungai.
Yeah, that's the problem. But the fact that at that position you have 2 guys that have lingered around for 4 years is crazy. But I do think Woody can do his thing. So
Pierce is not. I don't think Pierce can even be active tomorrow.
Oh, you think? I don't know. Let's flip a coin.
Chubb and Woody.
Let's flip a coin. Dameon Pierce. Oh, are you playing or not?
I mean, we know 3 already. We know 4 inactives already. CJ and Jalen and Jamal Hill, and then Kingston, the lineman that they don't ever use. So there's 4. I mean, Dameon, there's 5.
And why do they always feel like they have to put him like when he's active at kick returner? Just make him an emergency running back. Like, you don't have to play everybody. Like, he sucks. He's not a good kick returner. He's obviously not a running back that you trust. Like, why do they treat this like elementary school basketball where everybody has to play? Did you ever remember like in elementary school basketball, everybody had to sit out a quarter? Like, that's what they act like when Dameon Pierce is active. Just because he's active doesn't mean he has to play. It doesn't mean he has to play. But at something important like kick return, and you can minimize it however you want. But if Jalen Knoll, there's been times where they put Pierce out there and not Jalen Knoll. If Jalen Knoll just breaks 1 kick return, then with what this defense is and what this offense is not, it completely changes a game. Yep. So why is kick return treated like some sort of participation ribbon every time a guy that y'all clearly don't trust is active? Because if Dameon Pierce were an awesome kick returner, he'd be active every week. He's not. But when he's active, you feel like you have to put him back there at kick returner. It's so annoying.
I don't know why they play him. And I don't know why he's still on the team.
Like, seriously, if I just told you, I don't even have the list in front of me. If I just told you, okay, Nick Caserio, you're Nick Caserio. Damn, Nick. Diet changed a little bit. Anyway, Nick Caserio. You got to get rid of Dameon Pierce, and I need you to get me a more effective football player. Could you do it? Could you get me a more effective football player that will be more useful for you during the season? Could you do it?
Yes.
Exactly. He's been here 4 years. Like, Ogunbowale is at least a special teamer, and he's like your ultimate emergency guy. I can understand it to a certain point. I think they overdo it, like Frank Ross going up there and crying about it and stuff. But, like, I can at least understand it. This guy's just a running back, and he's lingered around for 4 years. You got something for me, Casario?
You're never letting Frank Ross beat the fact that he was just proud of Dare Ogunbowale.
Hi, dude.
You're never going to let him beat the fact that he's proud of special teams Dare Ogunbowale.
Dude, and then you watch Frank Ross in practice. It's the silliest thing. Like, you'll see Frank Ross like get pumped when a guy like downs a punt at the 1, whenever there's like some ultimate juice. And then the other day at practice, it was sad. Like, I wish I wouldn't have seen it, but Frank Ross is Dare Ogunbowale literally is the personal protector on the punt. All he does is he sits there and he's like calling out the coverage and stuff, whatever. I'm sure it's hard, like, obviously, but he does it. And then you would have thought the Texans scored a 95-yard kick return touchdown in a game the way Frank Ross acted. There you go, Dare. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby. There you go, 33. He just literally called out the protection. Like, and it was like Frank Ross. Like, I haven't seen him that excited, and he's an excitable guy. There you go, 33. That's how you do it. That's how it's done. I don't even think it was a live rep. Back to the chat.
Damn.
Swarm.
Did it not happen?
It happened.
Okay. The bearded ways. Are you guys going to talk about the potential impact of Stover being a full go? Am I missing something? No, I'm not. I don't think there's a big impact on Stover being a full go, honestly. I don't think there's
it did feel like they kind of slowed him back into things last week. He didn't play as much as I thought he was going to play.
Yeah, I don't think there's a big impact. I think he's better than Harrison Bryant, but I don't know that it's like massive.
Come the fuck on.
I mean,
Come on. Show some reality about what Harrison Bryant is.
Offsides. Izzy says last season, Dare with 85 yards against the Bills.
Izzy, because they inexplicably started him. Because they started him. Because for no explanation why they started him, and he was the main running back for him last year.
Dude, what if they look back at that tape and Dare is getting 20 carries this week? Dare is better than Dameon Pierce, though, right? At running?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My favorite part of the Dare starts versus the Bills is they played Cam Akers less, and Cam Akers averaged nearly 5 yards a carry in that game.
What if they love Dare so much that
stop it?
What? No, this is a good theory. I think you might actually support this theory. I think it's a decent theory. I think it's honestly a decent theory. Because I'm fine with Dare being on the team. 4 years seems kind of crazy for just a guy at special teams. It's not like a massive contributor running back. But what if they keep Dameon Pierce around just because they want to feel better about Dare on the roster? What if like in their non like calculated way, like having Dameon Pierce around like makes them feel better about having Dare on the roster? See, you don't think it's too crazy. I'm not. I'm kind of half joking. I'm half joking.
It's to me, it's like Jamal Williams doesn't have a job right now. Like Gus Edwards doesn't have a job. Like if those guys were inactive and then you had to make them active, like they'd give you more than Dameon Pierce right now.
Didn't Jamal Williams return kicks for a little bit too? Like he can return kicks like Dameon Pierce too. And Jamal Williams is funny. And oh, by the way, you know what Jamal Williams is really good at? Short yardage running.
Yep, short yardage.
What is your biggest problem? Short yardage running. Like if you had a good short yardage runner, it would make sense for him to be active. I feel like Jamal Williams returned some kicks too. I might be making that up. Wrong? Am I wrong?
Yeah, he did like a little bit. Yeah, a couple kick returns. Oh yeah, so 2024 for the Saints, he returned 11 kicks for 288 yards.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So he can do everything Dameon Pierce does, and he's actually a good goal line running back, and he actually has experience. He might not want to play though, but really, like there you go.
Yeah. Jamal Williams, Gus Edwards.
Is Rick taking it too far? He says, who's a better blocking back, Dameon Pierce, Dare, or Brooks? Dameon Pierce is definitely third on that.
British Brooks.
Yeah, Dare is better than Pierce. Brooks is better than blocking. Brooks is better than Pierce. No doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. Ricardo, this is a lot. He says, Woody over under 18 and a half carries.
I mean, you would need this thing to go perfect for them to get to that number, right?
18 and a half's a lot.
Because
what's the number at in Vegas?
He had 18 last week against Tennessee.
Yeah, and that's basically running into a brick wall. The Buffalo Bills run defense, as we previously mentioned, is definitely not a brick wall.
Yeah, so I mean,
so the over under on carries right now, I'm looking at
feels a little high.
The over under in Vegas is 15 and a half. So they have the Woody Marks number at 15 and a half. So Ricardo. So if you think that, then you should probably just find your local wagering spot and take the over there. He said he took the under on. Oh, so Ricardo said he got it 18 and a half, took the under on underdog.
It's a lot because like if at any point they're down, they're going to run a lot less and they're going to throw more. And so it's just like the game script could very easily flip to where you're not getting enough carries.
Oh yeah, the script can flip. By the way, if you win the toss, just kick, please. Let's kick.
Defer.
Let's kick. Yeah, you tried. Let's kick this time.
Yeah. Because I mean, how pumped would you feel if you go out there, you get a 3 and out, you force the Bills into a 3 and out to start, and then you get to run. Okay, here's the perfect start. Bills get the ball first, 3 and out. Jalen Knoll gets you into Bills territory on the punt return, and Mills and the offense go to work. That's the perfect start tomorrow.
Yeah, I would say so. Flip the field position. Do you trust Tommy Townsend to flip the field position?
Probably not. The one time he really put the leg into it, nobody covered anybody, and they gave up a punt return touchdown.
He had a good punt last week.
Sure. One punt not maketh the man. It's another one of those like, hey, if the world champions didn't want him anymore, like, why did you do that?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Cam Johnston was pretty good here, and then he just started getting hurt.
He's never played football again since he left here.
He just started getting hurt everywhere else he went. He's a good example for the Texans training staff. Good example. By the way, Cody battling a cold. I don't know if he's going to be able to handle it. I'm usually the one that's battling the cold. Cody's got the cold this week.
Yeah. It's winning.
Do you have some medicine, sir?
Yeah, I got more medicine in me than CVS.
Do you have a herbal tea?
Yep. I've been eating soup.
Honey?
I've been putting honey in my hot water.
Yeah.
I've been gargling with salt water. I'm doing everything.
Yep. He's battling. He's battling, folks. He's here for the people. And let me just be honest. He's trying to set it up to where he doesn't have to be at Spanky's on Friday. So he's going to have to gut it out. Don't let him get out of it. We want to see you there at Spanky's. Do not miss it.
If I got to roll in there in a bubble like the Bubble Boy, I'll get the Spanky's.
Have you decided your order yet? Because I'm going with the stuffed crust pizza. I'm going with the stuffed crust pizza.
So as good as the stuff we got last week was, I did lament the fact that I didn't get something more pizza-ish. So I may go back to my half and half.
Okay. There you go. There you go. All right. Anyway.
That may be the reason I'm sick. All my body went to fighting that. And it let the germs sneak in.
That might be it. There's no doubt that 100% might be it.
Yeah.
Ain't no doubt. All right. We appreciate everyone for rolling through. Tomorrow's going to be awesome. So we're going to be on a special time noon tomorrow because we don't want to be too close to the game. So we'll try to loosen it up, talk about the game, have some fun. Preview shows, not really for us. The whole week is basically a preview. So like, hey, Texans preview show. No, not doing that. So we'll have some fun tomorrow getting ready for the game. We will have Reaction Monday / Football Friday live from Spanky's. So that's going to be fun. And hopefully Cody figures something out. You got cough drops?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Damn, you got a lot of stuff. All right.
I'm telling you, I as soon as I get sick, I just take way more medicine than you're supposed to take just to try to get better as fast as possible.
Okay. Well, good for you. Subscribe, like, right along. Always remember when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it yeah, I'm trying to prolong this so you can't sneeze. Together.
Thank you, Davis Mills. Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Landry Locker's a stud.